Well, let's see if this TVZ feels any different. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our new Team Liquid player. Recent addition to the Liquid roster. Feels like it's been a while since they've had a Korean player on the roster. It is Cure. An exciting pickup for Team Liquid. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner. You may know him previously as RagnaroK. In-game, he is Hebiam, but I think officially he has changed his name to Shin. Which is kind of fun. I mentioned it earlier. RagnaroK is from the Class A of Korean pro gamer names. It's just a random word in the English dictionary, right? Hebiam is from Class B of the Korean pro gamer names, in that it's just his name. You know, players like MC and TY have used their initials. I'm sure there's been players who have just used their names before, though. But then Shin is kind of fun in that it's both. It's both his name and a random word in the English dictionary. So, Hebiam finding the perfect match between the two options of how to name your Korean pro gamer. It's really beautiful. See what Cure ends up starting out with here. It's not the 2-Rax Reaper in the wall. Again, it's really interesting to see how that's kind of been lost in the meta now. Really, it really feels like it's only Beyond who's still doing it. I don't even know if Beyond is still doing it. Maybe if you guys were watching some Beyond games recently, you'll know. I think he is still working on that. It really feels like a Beyond style, right? the Reaper micro over and over again. He's so good with it. Even years later. It's crazy how he like won championships with his Reaper micro. And then, you know, a couple years went by. Then he went to his military service. A couple more years. Comes back and invents a new meta. A new opening in TVZ involving Reapers. Still, years and years later. You just love to see it. But this is why we're not seeing the 2-Rax Reaper in the wall from all the Terrans anymore. Because of builds like this. It's exactly what I was talking about in the last series. You can just go into Hellions, or you have that option to use the reactor for Cyclones now. And it can be very powerful. It can be very good defensively against Roach pushes. It really makes the early game Roach pushes basically useless for the Zerg, because you can just always swap from Hellions into Cyclones in that early game, and the Cyclones can do a lot of micro, do a lot of fun micro. And already taking down that Overlord for free is pretty huge here. Hebiam is supply blocked. He has 3-4 Overlords on the way right now. He actually can't build any units, and there are 2 Hellions following this up. This is going to be really annoying for Hebiam to deal with. Finally, those Overlords are popping. He can start up a couple of Roaches. Something, anything to push these units back. Cure not pressing in, though. Maybe seeing the timing of the third base. Deciding not to get too aggressive here. The Overseer gets up to its little high ground and then runs away. Hebiam's just building Roaches. He has Roach speed on the way. It looks like he might be planning to get a little bit aggressive here. Now, there is a Banshee follow-up for Cure as well. And I think the Banshees can be very, very good at defending against those Roaches. So, if Hebiam wants to move across the map, could be a bit dangerous. The Cyclone's already pushing up, taking care of one of the Queens. The scan is going to see that these Roaches are on the way over, and Cure is just going to back on up. Back it up. Roach speed is done. Oh, no, Roach speed's not done. They're just on creep. These Roaches felt so fast. Banshee is done, though. Cloak is done. And this Banshee is going to be able to get 3 kills. Might be able to get a few more. Ooh, there's no Spore Crawler in the main base. Big mistake here from Hebium. Not realizing these Banshees were coming. Loses 5 drones, which is a big deal because he's not really droning behind this. The third CC is in the wall. Roach is going to have a tough time busting through that. They're going to go through the depot. Cyclone's doing as much damage as they can. SCV is getting pulled, though. The Banshee needs to come home to help defend. The Cyclones go down immediately. And this is starting to be a real big problem for Cure. How did he not realize there were Roaches coming across the map? He was not set up for this at all back at home. Sending both of those Banshees out. This one's going to do its best, but 11, 12 SCVs going down, and all that damage Cure did to the drone line of Hebium has just been completely negated here as these SCVs get absolutely massacred. A huge mule drop here as the last few Roaches get cleaned up. But that is Cure knocked down to 35 workers. In the meantime, Hebium, he is droned right up to 60, and he is cruising along with his worker count. He's got double Evo chamber on the way up. I think it's probably time to build some more Roaches. I don't know, 8 more drones on the way. Who needs Roaches? Why would you need defending units? Cure can't move across the map. Cure also lost all of his army. He doesn't even have Hellions out anymore. I think there's still the 2 Banshees. It's actually just 1 Banshee. Oh, the other Banshee must have died to the Queens then. It did get a few more drone kills at least, but now it's just 1 cloaked Banshee. Not the biggest deal in the world here for Hebium to deal with. Cure's going to be able to take his 3rd base, but man, this feels like a bad position for him. Zerg is just chilling up in the 60s of workers. He's got 1-1 on the way. At around the same time as Cure. After all that, the upgrades end up even. Despite Hebium's big investment into that Roach push, it really paid off. It really paid off. He is going to need to get more Roaches out, so he's got some on the way. There's a double drop heading across. He's going to need to be able to defend this 4th base. His 4th base is actually really important. It's very late for Hebium. That is the one thing that he's very late on. So he needs to get the Roaches over here to defend this double drop. He is nearby. The Marine's going to try to trade with some of the Roaches, but decide to pick up and move over to the natural base where they will get shoved away by the Queens. Good defense from the Zerg. And Hebium starting to drone up this 4th base. Getting into the 70s. He's got some Infestors on the way. The Hive, he's got Burrow, Bane Speed, Ling Speed. It's rare you see Bane Speed and Ling Speed being made at the same time. But Hebium must have skipped Ling Speed in this build to get those Roaches out so early. Get that lair going so early. But now he's getting all of his upgrades going. He's getting all of his tech going. His economy is roaring. But Cure, in the meantime, has gotten to a very solid economy as well. He's on a 3 solid base Terran. No 4th CC just yet. But now he's going to have double drops. The old double. 2 medevacs on each side. Just trying to push in, clear some of this creep, be annoying. Get hugely fungled. Oh my god, and the follow-up fungle. And well, that is just going to clean up all of that. Oh, medevacs do dodge the biles, so one of them will get out of there with 4 Marines. But I mean, that's a huge catch for Hebium. And now he just has to focus on the other side. 4 Marines in a medevac is really not the biggest deal in the world. The base is going to get taken. Hebium's going to be able to defense it. And Cure, his aggression just getting shut down by the guy who's teching way harder than him and expanding way more aggressively. I wouldn't hate to see Hebium try to take this base as well. Obviously, these Marines could stop it right now, but I'm a big fan of the double expand to the 5th and 6th base strategy, because we do have these double drops out here, right? And there's always that chance that you're not going to be able to defend one of them. I feel like double expanding can be really strong. And as I say it, Hebium, he knows it, man. He knows it. It's really nice, actually. It's so rare, but it's really nice when the pro gamers do the thing you're saying would be good. Like, oh, it'd be really cool if you did this. I think this is a good plan. And then you do it, and you're like, oh my god, I was right. I'm so smart. I'm so good at this game. Akira's reinforced this double drop up here, but Hebium still seems to have plenty to deal with it, and Akira's going to have to back on up. So far, again, this aggression just not getting anything done. These 4 Marines, I mean, at this point, I don't even think they'll be able to kill this hatchery before the Lings come back and defend them. So Cure needs to send some more out. Hebium has another Infestor just chilling here. Just out on the map. Actually, 2 of them. 3 of them. Oh my gosh. He's got Infestors around. Oh, and he unburrows. Drops the huge fungal. The follow-up fungal as well. The thing is, the units can't load up if they're fungaled. Cure gets 2 Marines back into those medevacs. And now, whoa. No. RIP. I thought that was me for a second. I got really scared. Oh no, my internet. No, it's Cure's internet. We're going to have to resume from replay almost surely. A drop like this from a Korean player means that likely his PC just shut off, if I had to guess. So we're going to have to wait for the timer to run out. There it is. All right. As soon as these players are ready. This is still game 1, right? I don't know what's being said. There's no music because we're paused. I do not know what's being discussed. Anybody speak Korean? Help us out here. Well, what's being discussed is we're ready to go. And there it is. Back to game sounds. We're back. Cure pulling back these medevacs here as he dives in on the lower left with his other drop. And you know what? Hebium is not in position. He's going to be forced to cancel that base right before it finishes. So great job up here on the top side defending. But Cure finally finds some damage. And he's going to accidentally find this Infestor. Cure. Never mind. All right, well, I thought he was going to drop on this Infestor. Maybe not. Maybe not watching. There's another Infestor just waddling around here. What is this Infestor doing? Oh my god. I think Hebium accidentally unburrowed. What is happening? Oh my god, it was burrowed. It was bugged. Oh. That's why he didn't see this. This Infestor is burrowed. Oh, that's so weird. All right, Hebium's gonna dive in. The Infestor burrow bug throwing us off a little bit, but Cure is going to push this back. These Ultras fresh to the fight, but get defended. Good job from Cure. Cure keeping that supply very, very nicely high right now, up to 180, 190. Infestor pops out of the ground, but it gets killed, gets scanned and killed, doesn't get that fungal off. And RagnaroK is on the back foot. There are some spine crawlers here to help out. Ooh, some links hitting on the backside. Widow Mines, though, connecting beautifully. More links show up. Cure's going to have to back up, I think, from here. He is trying to reinforce, killing a lot of the lings out front. Oh, Infestor coming from the backside. This is burrowed, remember. There's a beautiful fungal. Do we have another one to pop up here? Oh, not yet. RagnaroK just desperately trying to hold on. There's the pop-up, there's the fungal, but it might be too late. Cure is pushing through and hold the phone here. Hebium having such a good game, but all of a sudden Cure coming back into it, gets the kill on one of the bases, defends the push from Hebium, and then immediately counter pushes. He's got those ghosts out, sniping out these Ultras. Hebium starting to push him back, though. The Liberators went down. Ultras leading the charge. But no more Lings left. More Lings need to come out and join up. These Ultras on their own, not that great against the Marauder Ghost composition. This one Ultra on its own just gets absolutely leveled. Hebium pulling off to the right-hand side, waiting for these units to finish up. A couple of Banelings as well. Widowmine even drawing some fire, getting a kill there. But it looks like Hebium's going to push this back at least into the 4th base. Doesn't want to push too much further than that, though. There's a big concave of bio units here. There's a planetary. And Cure has now put himself in a fantastic position. What happened? Oh, that pause. The break in the game there ended up working out really nicely for Cure. I don't know if that would have gone any differently otherwise. It doesn't really feel like it affected much, but it was right at the turning point of this game where Hebiam tried to break him with the Ultras, and Cure just said no. Cure just said, actually, Ultras are kind of garbage. I don't know what you're talking about. Hebiam now going to sacrifice a lot of these units to kill that planetary, kill some of the SCVs, and he's going to try to chase these bio units up the ramp, but those Banelings are not going to get the connection. Hebiam going to be forced to retreat. Not taking too much damage, though. Ooh, to his army. As I say that, loses another Ultra for free. Oh, but the Banelings! Oh, but the Banelings! Oh, the scan! Oh, we were so close. Cure, though, he was thinking about it. He scans up to the high ground and just catches those Banelings right at the edge. Hebiam setting up a perfect trap. But it didn't quite work out. Some Banelings from the backside, though. A huge fungal connecting on so many of these bio units. They're all so low. They stim again, but that puts a lot of these Marauders in the red. And Hebiam is starting to push this back. Cure's supply finally starting to fall, and he can't replenish it immediately. Widowmine connects so fantastically. A second one as well. Ah, this Widowmine has 2 kills, and one of those is an Ultra. There is still an Infestor here, but it doesn't have fungal energy. Cure just got this base set up, and it just goes right on down. And Cure is going to be forced to tap out. It looks like he was counter pushing so hard. But then all of a sudden, Hebiam does the same thing. He just defends, and then Hebiam gets to counter push. And with one really sick engagement, a huge fungal allowing a lot of those bio units to either go deep in the red or just to die to the Ultras, the Lings, the Banes. And that's enough for Hebiam to push Cure back. Kills one base, kills another base. Suddenly Cure is a 3-base Terran who's at, 160 supply, and Hebiam holds on there. That was dicey, though. That got really, really close, considering how far ahead Hebiam was for the majority of that mid-game. After the Roach push killed so much of Cure's economy, Hebiam was just ahead. He had better tech, he had a better economy, and it allowed him to start building a nice bank. Ended up working out for him, but we see that if Cure doesn't fall way behind at the start, I feel like he's going to be very difficult for Hebiam to deal with. They're discussing if Terran was fungled. Terran was, in fact, fungled. But let's hop in to game number 2 here. We're going to Alcyone, spawning in the upper right-hand corner. It is our Mystery Gaming Zerg player in the red, Hebiam, also known as RagnaroK, but really goes by the name Shin. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner, the new addition to Team Liquid, it is Cure. Fun TVZ for these guys. It's the first time we've seen Alcyone today. This map has been very popular, which I think is really cool because it feels like a very interesting map to me, but the players seem to feel comfortable enough on it where we see it in a lot of different matchups. And a lot of times it's actually been the first map of the matchup, which is kind of cool. I wouldn't have expected it. It does have some kind of weird features that I feel like a lot of players might not be super stoked about. The middle of the map is a little hard. It can be difficult to path through. We've seen some bad pathing happen when the players aren't necessarily paying attention and big units have to go around. They can get caught. Weird things can happen in the middle of the map here. But also the whole bottom third of this map, this whole section here is walled off by the minerals and the rocks that are around the map. So you actually can't get down to this side of the map unless you have a Reaper to jump down the cliff or if you mine through these mineral patches. So kind of an interesting little thing here. We've already seen some proxies on the bottom side of the map, which I think is a really cool idea. You just mine through your proxy down here. I haven't seen proxy reapers down here yet, which I feel like could be really good. You know, proxy your 2 racks is down here. If you just mine through this, it would mean that a drone pull would almost certainly not be able to stop your Raxes from coming up. But we're not proxying any Raxes this game, which is probably good for Cure because Hebiom's going for Roaches immediately. And there's Ling speed with this as well. This is not just some early Roach pressure. This is like, Hebiom just wants to kill Cure. He just wants to kill him. And this might be why Cure opened up with the double Cyclone last game. Because I feel like double Cyclone into double Hellion here could be quite good. It's not going to be ready in time, though. These Lings already have speed. They're already running across the map. And Cure didn't open with a Reaper, did he? This was a Marine opener? No, okay. The Reaper is there. I lied. But the Reaper didn't see anything. What? It saw the base? How did it die? I completely missed this Reaper dying. I was talking about proxies. And the Reaper died somehow. And didn't get to scout that there were Roaches on the way. And I feel like this is really bad for Cure. There are a lot of Lings coming across the map, man. What is happening? What happened that Reaper died? I'm so confused. And Cure's going to have to pull immediately up to the base, but he's got to lock these SCVs out. The poor SCVs. Files already coming down in the depot. SCVs on the outside and the inside going to be able to repair. The Files going down again. Another Roach being morphed into a Ravager. This base is forced to lift. Hellions just trying to do what they can. Whatever damage they can do is better than nothing. The Overlord is going to go down here pretty shortly to the Marines. But Cure doesn't have a lot of production. He does have a Banshee in production. Oh, the Ling's getting through, though. The reactor went down. It wasn't repaired enough. And, oh, man. It felt like Cure was starting to defend. The Banshee was about to pop, but the reactor goes down, and he's going to lose every single one of his workers. Hebiom behind this up to 25 workers, and that is just GG. Hebiom was like, man, Cure's pretty good at this game. I should just try to kill him. What if I just busted him? And it worked out beautifully. I do not know what happened to that Reaper. That it didn't get any scouting information and it just died. That is wild. But Shin, man, he gets the 2-0.